Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel here. Hey, I have the Fimi X8 Mini with me today, and this is a Mini that you haven't seen before. This just came in the mail today from Fimi. It's the replacement for the drone that I dropped, the original one that I had that I dropped and broke the leg on and broke the gimbal on, and they were kind enough, they just sent the fuselage, so they sent that at home. I updated the firmware to the latest firmware. So we went from flight control firmware 1011A to flight control firmware 1012C. So that's the latest and greatest, and I know that is supposed to help more with the gimbal, etc., keep the flat horizon and the issues that people have had with gimbal pitch shift, the gimbal dropping in forward flight. So as you guys know, the issues that I've had with the second Fimi that I had, the one that my friend Jet Martin sent over to me and that I bought from him, that he bought from B&H. Long story there. Go back and watch the old videos if you want to hear that story. But that one I had nothing but trouble with. I could never get a good connection with it. And I will tell you, this morning I went out to try and fly it again because of this firmware update. And I went out to Heroes Park, and it was a disaster. The drone I could not get it to stay connected. Not only did I have problems with FPV connection, ultimately control connection too. I'm going to show you just a little bit of that video right now, and you'll hear the frustration in my voice. Reverse and up now. And I'll tell you what, we're having to work to stay away from out of everybody's way here. And yeah, I'm already seeing jerkiness on the screen, so yeah, that's not a good sign. Yeah, so we get some stuttering in there. We lost FPV altogether. Yeah, completely, and I'm facing directly towards the drone. Yeah, so it went into return to home, and it was about, what, 160 meters away, so man, I don't even know what to say here. Yeah, and then we lost connection again, so we're just gonna let it we're gonna let it come home. Well, this isn't much of a test, folks. I'm sorry. I thought yeah, it says fail safe return. Hey, there, we got a connection back. Okay, let's stop that return. Okay, so you've seen enough of that. So I was tickled to death when this guy showed up today. So what we're going to do is we're going to try it out, and we're going to see if it's improved, if I can keep a good control signal with it, an FPV signal, and we'll take a look at how that camera does with regard to the horizon and the gimbal pitch shift, etc., and just generally fly it around and see see how it does. Now I'm going to tell you, I've already looked at the 3 Fimi X8 Minis I have. The original one I had a January 2021 build date. That second one that came from B&H and Jet Martin has a March of 2021 build date. This one has a May of 2021 build date. So it's a later model. So whatever issues I had with my second Fimi X8 Mini, I'm hoping are resolved with this one, because this is a drone with a lot of potential. So I'm going to get it down. I'm going to do some calibrations. Obviously it just came in the mail today, so we want to make sure it's calibrated, particularly that magnetic calibration. So give me just a minute, and then let's get this bird in the air. So far so good. It should go about 5 meters in the air here. And it's looking good as it is. I see it moving around a little bit. We got some wind. I'm getting a little bit of a circular motion, just very small. That's about it. It's looking okay. Let's bring it down here. Bring it into the camera. I'm liking what I see so far. You know, from what I can see in just a little bit here, The horizon looks good. And of course, I haven't messed with any of the gimbal settings or excuse me, control settings or anything. So it's going to be just how it came from the factory. You know, it sounds just fine. Let's go ahead and let's do our usual droney, and let's see what we can do. So reverse and up now. Wow, so far so good. Drop that gimbal down. That's me dropping the gimbal. Holy cow, look at that perfect horizon. Yeah, we're this this is a massive improvement over the other X8 that I have, and it proves to me that the problems with that other one are related to the drone itself. No doubt it has some kind of antenna issue or something that was creating the FPV and control problems I had with it. So who knows, maybe we can send that one in and get it repaired. But in the meantime, let's just fly this guy around and let's see how it does. I'm full stick forward in normal mode. And I see some people walking there, so I'm going to move a little bit more to the side here. Make sure we don't go over the top of them. And I even had to remember to turn around. Now I'm seeing a little bit of a tilt in the horizon right now, but nothing terrible. Not, you know, not horrible. And of course, I'm looking at the grid lines on the camera. You may not even see them if you're just looking at the raw video. Now it's getting much worse as I yaw around, but it's straightening itself out. So as you see there, it tilted and then it kind of straightened itself out. Maybe even over-corrected a little bit, tilted a little bit the other way. So you know, I'd have to say there is a little bit of gimbal tilt. I'm going to drop the gimbal down so you can kind of see that horizon, the tree line there, right on the grid lines. Okay, so let's go full stick forward again, and let's see if we get any gimbal pitch shift, which is the one that I'm far more concerned about. So minus 7.7, and I think we started at 5.5. I think the gimbal did slowly drop a little bit, but it wasn't a really quick drop. And again, this is in normal, so we're at negative 5.2. Let me yaw around. And we're going to go right back the direction that we came from. And let's see what we see as far as that gimbal pitch. And again, we're in normal mode. Let me drop. I'm going to get right even with the horizon. And that was me dropping the gimbal, so we're at minus 6.8. Let's go full stick forward and see how we end up here. And again, this is in normal mode. And it looks like it's staying right there at 6.8. Had a little bit of a stutter on FPV there. And again, I see just a little tilt in the horizon, but that gimbal stayed right where it was at, although at least on the meter it's saying minus 6.8 to me. It did look like maybe it drifted a little from where we had it originally set, but and again, as we yaw around, it definitely is a little bit crooked, then it kind of straightens out, kind of similar to what it did the first time. Okay, here we go again. We're going to go back this way one more time, full stick forward. And we're still at minus 6.8. So I don't see any problems with gimbal pitch shift. We're going to stop right there. Let's go out over the top of the school over here, Discovery School, kind of across the street. I don't see any traffic, so let's go that way and see if we see anything funny with the gimbal. And gosh, it's looking good, and you know, the horizon is nice and flat here. It looks to me like if you give that gimbal a second, it definitely straightens out. But but you are going to get a little bit of it in yawing as you yaw around. So I'm gonna look at this view right here because we do that all the time. You can see the Boise front there off in the distance, and you can see a little bit of smoke and haze. That's from some fires in Oregon. Oh, we're getting a compass interfered warning, which, you know, I don't know, that's appears to be common with this drone. The drone seems to be handling okay. But we don't have, I mean, we did a compass calibration. But anyway, I was talking about the smoke in the air. There's fires in Oregon and California and eastern Washington. We're getting a little bit of that smoke. And look at that. Looks like the gimbal, maybe I reset it, I don't know, but it's a little higher at 4.7, and it looked to me like it was slowly raising there. So there we're back to 6.7. And I don't know if I inadvertently forgot that I changed the gimbal. I may have, but in any case, let's yaw. We're going to yaw to the right again, and let's take a look at that. I'm going to do a quick yaw. Actually, that wasn't bad, and that held up pretty good right there. Stayed real flat. Okay, let's put it in sport mode here. So we're going to go in and go into sport mode. Now, what I'm going to tell you, in sport mode, we should see some gimbal drop because the drone is going to pitch way forward, and that gimbal needs to drop to compensate so it's not looking up at the nose of the drone. Now, hopefully it just does it in one drop. We'll see. So full stick forward now. And let's look at our speed. And yeah, we got a little bit of drop there. You notice that. Minus 8.7. But that's perfect, and we are going at almost 17 meters per second there for a little bit. And I got a little bit of a stumble there on FPV, but I will say I was shooting right through the trees at the time. I'm okay with the control signal on here. Everything looks really good. Let's go back the other way. Let's go back over the school, and I see we're at 11.3. So let's just take it up a little higher. Let's put it up to 0 on the. Whoop! I went a little too far. Sorry about that. Trying to get that adjustment just right. Well, we're not going to get it probably exactly at 0. Well, there we are. There's 0. So the gimbal is pointed directly ahead. So we're in sport mode. We're going to go full stick forward right now. Full stick forward. And there, yeah, the gimbal dropped to minus 6.2. But it did it very controlled, all in one move. Maybe a little bit more there. That's exactly what you want to see. Yeah, we're going to be behind those two cars, so we'll be good. Got a little bit of stuttering on FPV, not horrible though. And I'm off the stick right now. Yeah, so that is perfectly acceptable. I'm going to pronounce that gimbal pitch problems are solved, so that's good news. Okay, I'm going to take it out of sport mode. Oh, and I'm going to turn precise landing on. I can't believe I didn't see that earlier. Okay, so there's something else I want to show you here. Some change over here where we fly all the time. Yawing around here. And let's drop some altitude. How high? Yeah, we're up at 62 meters. Let's get down about cell tower height here. And they did a bunch of work on this cell tower here, and I want to show it to you guys. So I'll put some pictures up right now of when they were working on it. They had this thing stripped down to nothing. Let's get right down there. You can see this baby, and let's see if we can do a circle around it. This is me in normal mode trying to do a manual circle here. But look at the elements on, or the antenna, whatever you call it, on the tower. They're a lot bigger than they used to be. Much bigger than the ones that were previously on there. So I don't know if that is an upgrade to 5G or if they're just more powerful or what it is. But, you know, to all the critics who always tell me, well, didn't you see that cell phone tower? Oh, that's the problems. Look at this. We are directly in front of this cell phone tower and we have full signal strength right now. We got no problems with signal strength. So, you know, could it cause interference? I suppose under certain situations it could. There, we're getting that compass interfered. We've been getting that off and on here. But let's go ahead and continue our rotation around here. And you know, it's funny, I was watching them when they were working on the tower, and there were some raptors. He was either an eagle. He would look pretty big, which made me think it was an eagle. But he was sure giving the guys a hard time when they were working on this thing. So it made me think that that maybe he had a nest there, or that the bird had been nesting or roosting up there or something. I don't know. It was interesting. Let's grab a little more altitude and we'll go right over the top of it here. Drop the gimbal down as we go over the top. Get you a good close-up look at it. That's the tower, and yeah, I can tell they changed a bunch of stuff around on that baby. There we are right above it. Should I land the drone on the top there? I should land right on the top of that peak, huh? Yeah, I wish I had the guts to do that. But it was interesting watching the guy hang off the thing. He was strapped to it and he was hanging off, working like crazy. And they had a big crane that they were putting all the equipment up there with. Not that one that you see down there. They had a regular crane that they were moving all the equipment up with. Okay, we are at 41%. So we still got some battery here. Let's bring it down here. And let's see if we can maybe get some other, some low-level flying in here. Yeah, so I'm very pleased with the way all this has turned out. This one is flying like I would expect it should, you know. Not that everything is perfect. That isn't what I expect, but it's pretty darn good. I'm watching the drone here. Let's pick that gimbal up. See if we can take it through the trees here. Keep it right down the middle. And you know, the drone, you know, I guess it says something that I have the confidence to do this with this drone right now. It says something about the confidence that I have in the controls and so forth. So good job, Fimi. This thing is a vast improvement over the other one. Okay, so we can kind of show you how low I am. I'm going to yaw around here, and you can see the school. We're actually lower than the roof of the school. The Meridian Medical Arts Charter School. And I'm shooting right through the trees right now. We've got good signal. There's a big tree in between me and the drone right now. Not to mention the building. So, boy, this is just a vast improvement over my other X8 Mini. I mean, this thing it's just night and day. I mean, this is actually a flyable drone, and I'm having fun flying it now. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing over here. We're going to get some altitude, and I'm going to go back, back over the top of Discovery School. Yeah, we're almost at time when we got to come home, but I want to, I've never really taken any pictures with this drone, so I think we should take the opportunity to do that. and then we'll see if we can get a precision landing. And you know, overall the horizon looks good. Okay, so it wants me to come home, but we're going to stop recording here, and we're going to go into camera mode, and we're going to take a picture. Photo taken succeed, and look, we're getting that compass interfered warning again there. And we're 46 meters high, so we're plenty high here. I was thinking about return to home, and let's drop and let's take a picture of that cell phone tower. How about that? And there's a picture. Okay, I'm going to go up and back, and then we're going to put it into return to home, and we're going to see if we can get a precision landing. So giving it return to home right now. Oh, let me switch and let's start recording again. Sorry about that. We're recording now. And that's me dropping the gimbal down. And let's see if it finds the pad here. The pad is right at the edge of the shadow down there. And you know, I'm even looking down here and it's kind of tough to see. Oh, it says landing pad not detected. And as we get lower, I'll pick up the gimbal here. It's going to land on the pavement no matter what, so we're just going to let it land. But, oh, there, it got it. Yeah, found it. So that's good. So it'll be moving over. I'm picking up the gimbal so that we don't land it with camera down. Yeah, I think we're going to hit it. You guys can see it on the GoPro. Looks to me like we're going to be right in the middle of the H. Pretty darn close. I don't know how you could ask for much better than that. And just like Fimi always does, it stopped recording upon landing. We landed with 16% battery. I don't know how long we flew there, but it was a fair amount of time, enough time that we got to do some testing. So suffice it to say that I'm pleased. Let me shut everything down and we'll do a conclusion. Hey, okay, the Fimi X8 Mini, this is my third one, and third time's a charm. I'm very pleased with this guy. Now, what I realized when I was shutting everything down is that I didn't do a screen recording with my iPhone. So you will have heard in my narration talking about things you saw in the screen recording. Nah, you're not going to see them. So I don't know what I'm going to have to cut out of the video. You guys will have already seen it, so I don't know. But I recorded most of it, so we should be good to go. But there was a part there when I was taking pictures, I stopped recording. And I had the grid lines on, so you would be able to see a little bit of the horizon tilt better. Although, like I said, you know, if you're not looking at the grid lines, a lot of times it's hard to discern that horizon tilt. So what that means is it really isn't that big of a deal. So it depends. So if you have a little bit of a horizon tilt, sometimes it's tough to see it when you're just looking at the video off the SD card. Now, we had a couple of times where it was a fair amount. Not bad, it always corrected itself. So while I can say it's not perfect, it is certainly acceptable. And for me, it's not a problem as far as me flying the drone and enjoying the drone. Now, the other thing that we showed was that the gimbal pitch shift appears to me to be largely a thing of the past. Now, and I'm putting the gimbal cover on the drone while we're talking here. So that gimbal pitch shift was a big problem in some of the drones, and I saw it a lot on the second Fimi X8 Mini that I had. But this guy, you know, with all the latest firmware and so forth, that seems to be pretty much resolved. We may have seen it fractionally, and then of course in sport mode it did it. Well, that's expected. When the drone tips over that far, this camera, it would be looking up at the nose of the drone if they didn't drop the gimbal down a little bit. So that's part of the engineering of it. And in this case, when we did it in sport mode, I was okay with it because it was very predictable and it wasn't just a big wang and, you know, just bouncing around. It was predictable. So That's good. And honestly, like I said, that's to be expected in sport mode. That's just what I'm going to tell you. And a DJI Mini is going to do the same thing. And they even give you the warning on the screen, just like they do, just like Fimi does with this one. So, gosh, I mean, there's not much more to say. The proof was in the pudding there. I'm pretty excited now to get this guy out, and we're going to do what I wanted to do since I got that that first Fimi Mini a couple of months ago, or however long it was. And we're going to go through this thing. We're going to try out all the features. We're going to test them all out. I've got a little vacation planned here pretty quick. I'm going to in New Jersey, you'd call it going to the shore. Out west here, we call it going to the beach. But Sarah and I are going to Western Washington, and we've got a little condo reserved for us on in Long Beach, Washington. So looking forward to that. In fact, and I will take this guy with me so we get some video there. In fact, trying to decide what drones I need to take with me on that trip. So should be fun. But I'm just babbling on now, so we'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm really gratified to say that I think most of the problems with the Fimi X8 Mini are behind me, and we can focus on having fun with the drone. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I appreciate you taking the time to look at these videos. I just really have a lot of fun making them, so I'm glad that you watch them. So thank you, and of course we'll see you on the next one. The Fimi X8 Mini, it's redeemed itself with this one. All right, see you guys later. Bye.